A new UFO mystery over the Nevada desert, and this time pictures of the strange objects were captured by none other than the U.S. Air Force.
This footage was just released from inside Area 51, and it's absolutely terrifying. But what you're about to see isn't just another blurry UFO clip. It connects to decades of leaks, whistleblowers, and hidden files.
Do you believe that our government is in possession of UAPs?
Absolutely, based on interviewing over 40 witnesses over 4 years.
And I've gathered every detail they don't want you to know.
So what are you doing here now?
The real intrigue begins with what's rumored to be just south of it, a facility known as S4. Former engineer Bob Lazar claimed he worked there in the late 1980s, which raises the question, how did all of this start? To answer that, we have to go back to 1947, back to the desert of New Mexico.
50 years after a mysterious something landed in the Arizona desert, the Air Force has issued a 231-page report on what's become known as the incident at Roswell.
It all started when a rancher named Mac Brazel stumbled upon some wreckage scattered across the desert near Roswell, New Mexico. There were weird pieces of metal and beams with symbols that no one could figure out. Locals started talking about bodies, small ones that didn't look human. Then the military swooped in. Within hours, everything was packed up and taken away with heavy security. An official statement came out saying it was a flying disc, but just hours later they changed that story. Now it was just a weather balloon, but the townspeople knew what they saw. For years, the mystery lingered.
Something happened here in 1947 that was covered up. The witnesses to me are key. Those are key ingredients to solving this. Now, getting the witnesses to talk is a different story.
What I seen, it wasn't made in this world. The first thing that caught my eye was this object that was in the bomb racks, and it was the color that fascinated me. It was gray, but nothing I've ever seen then or before or after.
All of our witnesses are telling us it was the first press release. That was the correct one. They recovered the flying saucer.
Fast forward to 1995 when Ray Santilli, a film producer from London, released a jaw-dropping film. It was black and white, gritty footage showing surgeons in hazmat suits cutting into a small gray figure on a cold table. This was the infamous alien autopsy.
Daddy said they looked like a small 10-year-old child. The size, the shape of the eyes, that would all pretty well fit.
The footage blew up the media, spreading across TV screens and news stories everywhere. Doctors and pathologists scrutinized the organs, while skeptics claimed it was all staged. Yet some details didn't stack up. The surgical tools matched what they used in the 1940s, and the phone in the background. It was a model that didn't exist in 1995. Santilli eventually admitted that parts were fake, but he maintained that the core of the film came from real military footage. So what really went down in 1947? Was it just a balloon like the Air Force said, or did they quietly move the wreckage and the bodies over to Nevada, hiding them in Area 51? One thing's for sure, this was only the beginning. Roswell planted a seed of suspicion that never faded, and the footage that popped up later kept the question alive. How much of this was covered up and how much is still buried in the desert? Because after the Roswell crash, even weirder footage came to light. Footage that showed more than just bodies. It showed something living.
It's a remarkable piece of footage. If it's a hoax, it's very well done.
If you continue to ask questions that are out of bounds, I won't hesitate to terminate this interview.
This is powerful because this is not a staged event. This is real.
It's 1997. A mysterious video emerged. It was grainy and low light, showed a thin figure strapped to a chair, and its eyes were all over the place. People called it the alien interview. A whistleblower named Victor says he snuck it out, claiming it's from Area 51. The visuals are pretty unsettling. Lights flicker and there are weird reflections. The figure moves in ways that seem off for a human, strange twitches and all that. Video analysis experts zoomed in on the frames, spotting odd stuff like light glints that shouldn't be there, bizarre audio distortions, and things that seemed impossible with 90s tech.
Okay, yesterday you told us you traveled, and I quote, thousands of light years to get here. show us truth or another week. It is truth or fall off. So I take it aliens took over our future, right? Sort of human. Okay, so you evolved from us. So what are you doing here now? How?
Skeptics jumped in, claiming it was a hoax, just the editing tricks and camera angle manipulation. They point out the lack of real evidence and documentation, but there are strange details that make them pause. The way the subject's jaw collapses and claims about its alien anatomy really get under their skin. Plus, there's that weird audio screech during the interrogations that sounds impossible for the technology of that time, at least according to some forensic experts. There's not much historical documentation to back it up, but a few whistleblower statements match what's shown in the video. Some leaked memos even mention test subjects that fit this description. One researcher claims he recognized the same metal chair, lighting setup, and medical gloves as seen in other Area 51 witness sketches. While many still say it's staged, others are convinced there's some truth to the footage, something too intense to just make up. The alien interview leak didn't just raise eyebrows, it set off a whole wave of questions. It got people wondering if Area 51 is really just hiding old wreckage, or if it's keeping living beings under wraps that nobody knows about. In late 2024, the internet was buzzing with a huge data leak. We got a ton of documents, blueprints, schematics, all kinds of files. There were ones from the CIA and DOD, plus some from mysterious sources. Among the leaks were layouts of S4 hangars, drawings labeled anti-gravity drives, and images of these shiny, seamless discs with no rivets or visible seams.
The locus of this is Area 51.
But if you're looking to gain insight into aliens or spaceships, but it's likely to cause more fascination about this mythical place.
I think any document that comes out about Area 51 stirs up the pot of intrigue.
Then there was this wild video of a disc just hovering there, no exhaust, doing crazy loops that seem impossible. It made sharp turns and moved in ways that jets just can't. Screenshots of the hangar schematics showed a lot of blurred details, and even though the file names were mostly redacted, some were still readable. Someone let this info out. The source was all over the place. Some people thought it was an inside job, while others went with a hacking theory. A whistleblower named Jason Sands came forward, claiming he used to work at Area 51 and said they're reverse engineering alien tech.
We're going up range for those kind of things. We don't do the telephone monitoring when we go up range to the test range at Nellis. That was what we called red forcing. And what our job was there is we were also trained to do combat ops against our own pilots so that we could help them survive in a wartime environment. That's where we were heading this one day. So we all packed up. We're in Beatty, Nevada, which is the Burrow Inn, in a convoy. There's 3 vehicles, probably about 3 to 4 people per vehicle. I'm in the lead vehicle with the ranking guy. He's driving. The ranking guy had been there the week before, and he had seen the craft fly by. Because that one's out there on the internet. You can pull down the video. There's a report that goes along with it.
There's a video that we can watch right now?
Right now, yeah.
What would he search?
Search for, let me think, Nellis Test Range UFO 1994.
All the platforms scrambled to handle the chaos. Links got pulled down, screenshots got shared, and mirrors of the original files popped up everywhere. Experts started digging into the metadata, looking at things like camera types, timestamps, and signs of editing. Some argued that the video compression showed signs of manipulation, while others insisted that the weird light reflections and shadows looked like they matched up with physics anomalies. The blueprints had some strange details too. The edges were bent, the doors looked way too big, and the ceilings were super high. Inside didn't look like a storage space. It seemed like a lab. The leaked floor plans even hinted at tunnels below, with rooms labeled containment, biolab, and vehicle bay. You can imagine how the public reacted. Forums exploded and, fake or real, turned into a meme. Some folks started drawing comparisons to older leaks about Santilli and those alien autopsy videos. But there's one thing that stands out: the image of that disc flying around and the blueprint that shouldn't even be out there. These files raise a big question. If they're legit, just how much is the government hiding from us? Definitions of documents get blurry, but what about what people have seen with their own eyes? The sky above Area 51 may hold answers too. Next, military encounters, Tic Tac and beyond. Some stories don't come from shadowy leaks. They come straight from the military. In 2004, pilots from the USS Nimitz locked eyes with something that defied logic. A white oval craft, later nicknamed the Tic Tac, darted across the Pacific skies. No wings, no exhaust. It dropped from 60,000 feet to sea level in less than a second. Radar tracked it. Pilots saw it, cameras caught it. Years later, more footage surfaced. The gimbal video in 2015 showed an object tilting and rotating against the wind, as if the laws of aerodynamics no longer mattered. The go-fast clip revealed something skimming the ocean surface at impossible speeds.
Did you box moving target? No, I took an auto track. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, dude. Wow, look at it fly!
And the Roosevelt incidents, dozens of Navy aviators reporting swarms of objects off the East Coast gave these encounters a chilling consistency. But the story doesn't stop there. Newer helmet cam and thermal clips began appearing online in 2024, reportedly taken during training near Groom Lake, Nevada. One shows a dark object pacing a fighter jet, matching its movements with eerie precision.
A new UFO mystery over the Nevada desert, and this time pictures of the strange objects were captured by none other than the U.S. Air Force.
Another captures radar locks failing over and over, as if the craft slipped between detection systems.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
Here, radar, video, and human testimony converge. Different pilots, different years, but the same impossible craft. If the skies reveal what's flying above, the hangars hint at what's being hidden below. For decades, whispers have surrounded Area 51 and the even more secretive S4 facility.
We've got Bob Lazar stating that S4 exists. That's what he said back in 1988, 1989. We've got Dr. Dan Burrish coming forward stating that S4 exists. We also have Bill Uhouse, who worked on the flight simulators at S4 and at Los Alamos National Lab. So we've got three independent people confirming the same thing.
Not just test flights or advanced craft, but containment labs buried deep beneath the desert. Leaked documents describe entire sublevels, sealed corridors, reinforced vaults, and chambers labeled only with codes. The blueprints suggest that what lies underground isn't just technology, but something biological. And then came the footage. In early 2025, grainy night vision clips began to circulate online. They showed a supposed bunker breach. Figures scuttling through the dark, hunched and unnatural in their movement. The clips spread fast before being scrubbed, leaving behind only a trail of frozen screenshots and unanswered questions. Adding to the weight of it all were the testimonials. A handful of former workers, speaking under anonymity, described containment procedures so strict they couldn't speak openly about what they saw. One claimed entire wings were dedicated to preservation, not research.
These abduction stories are all part of a larger plan. A plan going on for a very long time. This, what we are experiencing now, is the next step, where we are now learning that we are not alone and that they soon will come back. because that is what they promised.
Another suggested the labs weren't just about keeping something in, but about keeping us out, whether real or staged. These leaks raise deeper stakes. If biological entities are truly housed in secret facilities, the question shifts from technology to survival. Who controls them and at what cost? And while these hangars may hide what's beneath, the leaks didn't stop there, because in the files that followed, something far more explosive surfaced.
A House Oversight and Accountability Subcommittee held a historic hearing on unidentified anomalous phenomena, also known as UFOs.
In recent years, names like David Grush and Commander David Fravor have stepped into the spotlight. Grush, a former intelligence officer, testified before Congress under oath, claiming retrieval programs and biological recoveries do exist.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
Do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
Fravor, the Navy pilot behind the famous Tic Tac encounter, continues to push his testimony in public, even as it challenges his reputation.
The technology that we faced was far superior than anything that we had.
Both men faced the same question. Why risk careers, security clearances, and personal safety? The answer seems simple, because the truth is bigger than the cost. But not all stories end in the open.
Do you believe that our government is in possession of UAPs?
Absolutely, based on interviewing over 40 witnesses over 4 years. I know the exact locations.
Throughout the years, researchers, insiders, and self-proclaimed whistleblowers have reported threats, surveillance, and worse. Some accounts speak of sudden illnesses, unexplained accidents, or suicides that families still contest, patterns that are hard to dismiss, even if impossible to prove. These cases remind us that leaks aren't just about strange lights in the sky or blueprints hidden in vaults. They're about people, real individuals who take risks and sometimes pay with their lives to pull the curtain back.
You have made claims that non-human intelligence aircraft exists and that there have been federal employees that have been injured on these crashes.
That's correct.
Have non-human bodies associated with UAP crashed craft retrievals been recovered?
There have been recovered biological samples from crashes.
That sounds crazy.
Well, it may sound crazy, but it doesn't mean it's not true. When you say bodies, people think an intact body, right? 2 arms, 2 legs, and bilateral symmetry. I prefer to say biologics. I was not around for the recovery of that. It was before my time.
And as the clock ticks forward, the question is no longer just about what we've seen, but about what comes next. Because if the past decade has shown anything, it's that disclosure might not be controlled. It might arrive in the form of the next leak. For every shocking clip or leaked document, there's a shadow that follows: skepticism. And to be fair, it's a shadow worth listening to. After all, Area 51 has been the backdrop for hoaxes, staged footage, and clever special effects for decades. If the stakes are as high as claimed, it's only reasonable to ask, how much of this can be faked? Take the infamous Santilli alien autopsy film from 1995. For years, it was touted as undeniable proof of extraterrestrial recovery at Roswell. But later, Ray Santilli himself admitted that what the world saw was, in large part, a reconstruction, something he claimed was based on genuine footage, now lost. For many, that confession was enough to dismiss the film as a complete hoax. For others, it left a nagging question. If the real footage ever did exist, why cover it up with a recreation? Then there's the digital age. Modern CGI and deepfake technology have blurred the line between authentic and fabricated. A glowing orb over Groom Lake or a shaky cam of something scuttling in a bunker, these can be made in an editing suite in just a few hours. Analysts point out how pixelation, compression, and low resolution, once excuses for why leaked footage looked great, grainy are now red flags. If a clip looks too conveniently mysterious, that in itself raises suspicion. And yet, some experts caution against dismissing everything outright. Forensic video analyst might note that while lights in the sky can be faked, certain physics, reflections on cockpit glass, movement patterns on radar, synchronization with pilot audio are far harder to fabricate convincingly.
A whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude. That's not our LNS though, is it? It's not. That is the LNS, dude. Well, if there's like... Look at that thing. It's rotating. Oh, got it! Woohoo!
Roger.
Did you box moving target?
No, I took an auto track.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Wow, look at that, man. Look at it fly.
In the case of the Tic Tac encounters, multiple data points lined up: eyewitness testimony, infrared tracking, and radar signatures. That convergence is something a hoax simply can't replicate easily. So we're left with a paradox. Many leaks can be and are hoaxes, but buried among them there may be fragments that resist explanation. The problem is, in a world flooded with digital trickery, how do we separate noise from signal? And that question brings us to the close, because if even a fraction of these leaks are genuine, the implications aren't just fascinating, they're world-changing. When you stitch all these fragments together, the Roswell crash, the whispered autopsies, the interrogation tapes, the radar tracks, the bunker breaches, one picture starts to emerge. A picture of a world where bodies have been recovered, where craft have been reverse-engineered, and where something alive may have been contained beneath the Nevada desert. And here's the real question. If even 1% of this is true, what does that mean for us, for history, for religion, for national security? The truth isn't just strange, it's destabilizing. Floodlights sweeping across Groom Lake as a massive egg-shaped object hidden beneath a tarp is hauled into a hangar. The camera lingers just long enough before the doors slam shut. And that's where we're left. Doors closed, questions unanswered, and a trail of leaks, tapes, and testimonies that refuse to die. For decades, the government has said nothing to see here, but maybe the real story is too big, too dangerous to ever be told. What do you think? Are these just clever hoaxes stitched together over the years? Or is there something waiting in the desert that no one is ready to face? If you want more deep dives into hidden files, leaked footage, and mysteries they don't want you to know, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell icon, and join the hunt, because this isn't the end of the story, not even close.